President Rodrigo Duterte on Tuesday says he will give authority to the Presidential Anti-Corruption Commission or PACC to look into his bank records. Duterte says the PACC can use their connections in the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas to check his bank records. The BSP chairman supervises the Anti-Money Laundering Council. The PACC, composed of Duterte's allies, is headed by Dante Jimenez, chairman of the Volunteers Against Crime and Corruption. The VACC is behind controversial complaints filed against Duterte's critics, including Senator Laila de Lima, Ombudsman Conchita Carpio Morales, and overall Deputy Ombudsman Arthur Carandang. While the president's bank records are open to allies, he says he will not give the same access to his political opponents. He repeats his claim that his bank accounts contain only 40 million pesos. Duterte says he will step down if the PACC finds it contains more than this amount. The president says the 40 million pesos includes his inheritance, which he obtained when his family divided land in Davao. But it's unclear if giving authority to the PACC to look into his bank records means he will issue a bank secrecy waiver, and if other bodies who want to probe his alleged ill-gotten wealth will also be allowed to use the bank records. This includes the Office of the Ombudsman, which terminated its probe into Duterte's wealth because of the AMLC's refusal to cooperate, citing the confidential nature of the bank documents. Duterte himself verbally ordered the AMLC to show his net worth. Despite this, the AMLC did not cooperate with the Office of the Ombudsman. Duterte earlier ordered the dismissal of overall Deputy Ombudsman Arthur Carandang, the official heading the probe, for publicizing supposedly illegally obtained documents that showed years of bank transactions by Duterte and his family amounting to more than 1 billion pesos. The probe stemmed from a complaint filed by Senator Antonio Trillanes, who alleges the Dutertes are hiding billions, belying their image of simple living. Defense Secretary Delfin Lorenzana on Wednesday blamed SAC Navy Chief Ronald Mercado for controversy surrounding the government's 15.7 billion peso frigate acquisition project. Mercado was unceremoniously relieved last December for supposedly failing to follow the defense chief's orders. Lorenzana, during the House probe into the frigates deal, insists the frigates deal was above board despite questions about the deal. He says, quote, "How can you continue to have confidence and trust in a leader who interferes in a legally binding contract, usurps your authority, and ignores your orders?" Special Assistant to the President Bongo and his office, the Presidential Management Staff, apparently intervened in the project, asking Mercado through Lorenzana back in 2017 to answer a paper that argued in favor of South Korean company Hanwha Thales. Go's office later called Navy officers to discuss the selection of the critical combat management system for the two frigates to be built by Hyundai Heavy Industries. Lorenzana points out Mercado's supposed fixation on picking tactical Thales for the two frigate CMS. But Mercado denies disobeying Lorenzana's orders, saying he never disobeyed any lawful order from a superior officer. An information technology expert says the server logs presented by Senator Tito Sotto as supposed evidence of alleged poll fraud in the 2016 elections may have possible valid explanations. Sotto on Tuesday cited a concerned and impeccably reliable source who alleged that earlier transmission of votes and foreign access to election servers were supposedly reflected in certain election server logs. But Parish Pastoral Council for Responsible Voting IT Director William Yu says the allegations concerning DNS servers may just be a lookup query, similar to searching for a phone number on an address book. DNS stands for Domain Name System, which maps a readable domain name to an IP address of a server or device. As for alleged foreign access through username E360Sync, Yu says it may likely be a synchronization script between two machines to get data from a monitoring portal or dashboard offered by technology provider Smartmatic. But he says that it should be checked whether this was authorized by the Commission on Elections or not. Yu also says there was also not enough information to solidly connect a supposed E360Sync service to an Amazon web server, as alleged by Sotto's source. The government's top economic officials hailed the selection of the Philippines as a top country to invest in by American media firm U.S. News & World Report. The Philippines placed first in U.S. News' ranking of the best countries to invest in, ahead of second placer Indonesia, as well as Poland, Malaysia, Singapore, Australia, Spain, Thailand, India, and Oman in that order. U.S. News says it based its ranking primarily on a survey of 6,000 business decision-makers. U.S. News & World Report is mainly known for its ranking of best schools. Countries were ranked on 8 equally weighed factors: corruption, dynamism, economic stability, entrepreneurship, favorable tax environment, innovation, skilled labor force, and technological expertise. Finance Secretary Carlos Domingos III attributes the top ranking to the country's leadership, labor force, inclusive growth and momentum, fiscal discipline, stable monetary policy, and membership in the Association of Southeast Asian Nations. In the first 11 months of 2017, the Philippines exceeded the government's full-year target of $8 billion in foreign direct investment or FDIs, registering a total of $8.7 billion. But this tempered by foreign investment pledges failing by 51%, as tracked by 7 investor promotion agencies, including the Board of Investments and the Philippine Economic Zone Authority. These agencies are tasked with approving investments which then count as FDI flows once the projects materialize. But U.S. News says the country is expected to receive more FDI from within the region, from powerhouses like China that are looking to utilize available labor in developing nations. United States President Donald Trump on Tuesday acknowledges Russia and other countries meddled in the 2016 presidential election that brought him to power. But he claims the Russian interference did not affect the result of the 2016 race. He says, quote, "The Russians had no impact on our votes whatsoever, but certainly there was meddling and probably from other countries and maybe other individuals." Prior to this, Trump has repeatedly downplayed Russian influence and rejected allegations of collusion between his election campaign and Moscow. Trump also vows to make sure it will not happen again. He says, quote, "We'll counteract whatever they do. We'll counteract it very strongly." The U.S. will hold midterm elections in November and a presidential election in 2020.